Hello there, welcome to Pluralsight. I'm your instructor, Christopher Reese, and in this course we're going to cover threats, attacks, and vulnerabilities for CompTIA Security Plus. Specifically in this module, we're going to cover analyzing indicators of compromise and determining malware types. Okay, so as a security professional, it's very important that we understand the true nature and the true threat that malware represents. Most breaches, intrusions, and so forth are created by some type of malware. Now, malware can really be broken down into three main categories. I like to kind of quantify them or categorize them into three main areas. And that is really adware, spyware, and marketing. All right, things that serve up ads, things that are there to spy on us, and then things that are there basically to take marketing statistics and then feed that back to some centralized server. All right, so not necessarily malicious, but certainly annoying. And then we have remote access and keyloggers. Now these, as you may imagine, are more malicious, can be criminal in nature, of course. They allow a malicious individual, a criminal, hacker, cyber terrorist, and so forth, to gain access to a system remotely. And also, if they initiate some type of keylogger, they can capture all of our keystrokes, whether it be usernames, passwords, credit card information, it could be chat information, instant messages back and forth, and so on and so forth. All right, so very problematic, as you can imagine. And then we also have remote attacks and DDoS, or distributed denial of service. All right, so these things, again, are primarily, almost always, for malicious intent. So they're not necessarily done to steal our information on our computer, but rather to use our computer to then target or attack some third-party server. Right? We're speaking about denial of service attack or distributed denial of service attacks. So we'll talk more about those and botnets and so forth and how all of those things kind of tie together. All right, so it's very important that we get some key terminology and some key fundamentals down before we dive into the more advanced things. All right, so I want to put some things out there and kind of build upon them throughout this course. But as I'll mention numerous times throughout the course, if you ever run into something that you forget or maybe a term you're not familiar with, it's always a good idea to go back and review the material again. Watch it several times to make sure that it sinks in and you're actually retaining the information. So, as any security professional knows, malware is really the bane of our existence. It is a major point of contention. It's something we have to consistently and constantly deal with. And so throughout this course, we'll talk about the different types of malware. We'll cover viruses, crypto malware, which is making a big splash in the media as we actually record this video. One of the biggest crypto malware or ransomware infestations to date has just occurred. We'll talk about worms and Trojans. We'll talk about rootkits, keyloggers, adware and spyware. Also the bots or botnets that I mentioned previously. We'll talk about rats, right? Remote access tools or remote access Trojans. We'll talk about logic bombs and also backdoors. So let's go ahead and get started.